Hello. Hi, can you hear me? I'm just trying to set everything up. Okay, super. Can you hear me like well though, or is it kind of shitty? Oh, I should put my headphones on. This is still super loud. Okay, cool. Okay. I am going to turn this audio on now. Okay, so that should be playing audio from the game window. Is it too loud or too quiet? Turn it up? Okay. A tiny bit. Is that good? I'm just trying to set the thing out on Twitter now so that that goes out. Okay. Tweet. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna close that. I'm going to try to find where my mouse went. Unclose that. I'm gonna minimize that. Okay, where is it? Okay, how do I get rid of my hold screen? That's how I get rid of my hold screen. Okay, so is it showing the game now? Oh, I'm excited. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so this is something I've wanted to do, actually, for a really long time. Where there's basically this game jam that goes on, like, once a year. Why are you yelling? Lilith has a lot to say, also. She and Puck have been like super naughty all day, but there is a game jam that pretty much happens like every year. Well, there's a shitload of game jams that happen all year, but there's a game jam that is basically to make a visual novel in a month, and it's called NaNoRenO, and it's pretty cool. At least I think it is, and so I decided, because I wanted to stream games, but I'm bad at video games, I wanted to like stream visual novels and like dating sims and just really silly shit if I streamed games along with streaming art. So I figured that showcasing games from this would be a really neat thing to do because it doesn't seem like it's very known. So, one second. Puck, what are you doing? You need to stop being naughty. You've been naughty all day. You saw me failing at Kirby, like, so hard. I wonder if there's a way I'd be able to get this chat screen in the... Why can't I see my... Oh, okay, I see. I wonder if I can get my... I wonder if I can get the chat screen to show up in the game, or in the stream. That might be cool. I'm not gonna try to heck with that right now, actually. That sounds hard. Okay. But hopefully we get more people in eventually. But even if we don't, I'm probably gonna go until for like 2-ish hours, maybe, if that's okay. Hopefully it will be cool and good. I tried not to look up anything about any of the games. I was going to start... I have no idea what happens in any of these games. I tried not to look up anything, and I was actually going to start with the games that were made for like the first ones that I could find, because I found a whole archive, And it goes back to 2005, but I was looking at those ones and I was like, ooh, those seem a little of their time. So I figured I would do mostly the newer ones, the more recent ones. This one came out in the one that was from this year. So I'm kind of gonna do the newer ones and intersperse some of the older ones, because in the older games, or in the older years, there doesn't seem to be as many games up until like 2015. That was when there actually started to be like actually in the double digits of games that people did. I am going to slide this over just a bit because I'm a little embarrassed. Okay, and I want my chat to be where I can actually read it. Okay. So for like the older ones, there aren't as many, so it'll probably be really quick to get through them, because I don't want to pick and choose games for the most part. I want to play like every game that's been made for this thing, except for ones that have like not safe for work content, because anything that would be like not okay to stream. But we are going to start now, because this one did sound really cute, but I tried not to look up too much of anything. I just looked to see if there were any, like, warnings or anything that were on the page. Oh no. We have to pick a name. Lily, what's our name? You know what? We're just gonna be ourselves. Oh, hell yeah. Yo! Oh, do I want to be this cute girl or do I want to be the cute guy? Oh, they're both cute. Can we be both? Okay. I want to be that guy. Also, I 100% did this because I wanted to read silly voices, and this is gonna be fun. So, for now, Lily, you are the only one who will hear me make insane voices. So I hope you enjoy it. Oh shit, I gotta think of a good voice though. Oh, I don't know how to progress the voice. Auto, I don't want to go auto. I let out a freeing yawn as I leaped down from the bus onto the pavement below, bags in hand. Finally made it. Drinking in the familiar surroundings, I take a moment to execute some quick squats. Okay, so we should have named ourselves Zach Fair. The brisk stretcher size is exactly what my compromised muscles ordered, all stiff from the several-hour-long bus ride from the city to the sea. I wonder if this is how Jack-in-the-Boxes feel when they pop out. I really like the background, too. Like, this art is so good. Newly energized, I extend my arms to the tropical sun as if to pluck it from the sky and take in a greedy lungful of delicious sea air. As always, the warm climate here on the coast feels as though it's welcoming me back home, back to the place where I belong. I've missed this, all of it, and ahead of me is a summer-long period of peace and respite. I just graduated high school, and from now on, there'll be no parents, teachers, or peers reminding me with every breath that I'm waiting to the end of my teenage years with no direction. Wow, this got really real in like exactly 1 second. Just the sun, the sea, and this place. Man, I wish that's how life was. My destination? The tranquil seaside town of Linsdale. Nestled in a quiet, crescent-shaped cove on the coast and licked by the starry, deep blue waves of the East Sea, some people have taken to affectionately nicknaming it Moon Bay. A pretty occultic name, all things considered. Is the moon automatically a cult, I guess? But it always seemed perfectly apt, because it's also the town my grandmother, my Baba, calls home, and she just so happens to be an exceptional and absolutely eccentric witch. all these years later, and I still wouldn't put it past her to have coined Moon Bay herself, just because it might help drum up business among the magic folk. For the first time in 3 years, she'd asked me to visit this summer, and I can't wait to resume my magic training. My fingers, electrified, are already tingling at the prospect. I already really like this game. This is fantastic. Ah, I missed the thing. Oops. Hello. Cursive on vellum and a wax seal. Yep, nobody except that wily old woman would write like this anymore. Really? Because I don't think so. There's no time like the present. Unable to hide my eagerness to see her again, I hoist my bags up to my shoulders and take off at a sprint up the staircase, leaving the bus stop far behind. And once I leap across the threshold of the stairway's end, I see the sight I've longed for and open my lungs wide. I cannot read what that says. I already forgot the voice I gave the character too, so that's gonna be a problem. Hello, coffee curiosities! I'm home! Oh yes, this game is great already. We get to run a cafe, and we're a witch. Hell yeah. My grandmother's cafe stands before me, a static monument among the other buildings, utterly unchanged, like a moment in time, perfectly preserved the way I always remembered it. It reminds me of my childhood, of iced tea in summer, sea salt ice cream, and freer days spent under Baba's tutelage. That, in itself, is a rare kind of magic that leaves me spellbound. I'm sorry, I'm bad at remembering. Don't be mean to me. Naturally, my peppy cry draws the attention of several passers-by outside the store, many of whom recognize me and wave in greeting. Well, I'll be if it isn't justice. Been a spell since you've been back. Still kept that strange habit of greeting the cafe like it's a person, I see. Well, she's not wrong. I guess I'm a little old to be shouting in public. But as Baba used to say, a witch breathes magic and life into all things. Every word is a charm, every sentence a spell. Now that I think about it, it's totally possible she was just hoodwinking an extremely gullible 5-year-old, but, well... It's a cute tradition, so who cares? I wave energetically back. Hey there, it's good to see you again. Do you know if my grandmother is about? I think that was a different voice, again, than what I gave them before, for the first 2 times. I'm sorry. That question seems to give her pause, and she forces a smile which can only be read as guilty embarrassment. Oh, you mean she... Well, I'm not too sure. Haven't been in for a coffee for a while, you see. Anyway, nice seeing you, kid. Our grandmother's gonna be dead, isn't she? She's gonna be super dead. Before I have a chance to respond, she scuttles off over the hill, leaving me stranded in confusion at the shop door. What in the hemlock was that all about? Glancing over the cafe again, my eyes narrow suspiciously and roam up and down the building. I finally notice one extremely telling clue. It's the height of morning, and yet the curtains are shut tight. Fishier still is how quiet it is. Is it gonna be a murder mystery? Do we have to find out who murdered our grandmother? With magic? Wait, don't tell me. I practically kicked the door down in my provoked state, and once inside, all of my suspicions are confirmed. Oh shit. Not only are the lights all switched off, not only are there no customers, not only has the door clearly been left unlocked with complete disregard to nasty drafts, thieves, or trespassers, but on top of that, Baba is nowhere to be found. The lingering mingled fragrance of sweet teas and bitter coffees temporarily catches me off guard, filling my nose. You know, I knew that it was going to happen sooner or later, my complete inability to read catching up to me. The lingering mingled fragrance of sweet teas and bitter coffee temporarily catches me off guard, filling my nose and mind with happy memories. But I quickly remember why I'm here. For magic training, obviously. Some of us are illiterate, Lily. Don't be mean to me. Everyone's being mean to me. It's very mean. And the cats are being mean to each other. I stomp across the cafe floor in big strides, making a beeline for the door at the far end of the room, a door hidden behind a heavy satin curtain and bewitched to be invisible to all non-magic customers. Okay, fine. I accept your saying that you're the only one who's been mean. Baba? Baba! I love the art in this so much. It's so good. I stop, dead in my tracks. In the secret room, piled floor to ceiling with mystical objects, is Baba's secret ball table. Crystal ball table. What? Secret ball? Yeah, we're gonna play some secret ball. I told you guys I can't read. A table radiating with memories of afternoons sitting in her lap, poring over dusty tomes and having the wonders of magic whispered in my ear. And now, on that table, clearly awaiting my arrival, is a small paper ornament, an enchanted letter, folded into the shape of a miniature rabbit. When I enter the room, it turns up its ears and bounds up from its slumber, hopping to the table's edge to greet me. I was drinking tea earlier, so now it's like just gonna make me burp a lot, and I'm sorry. I would recognize this magic anywhere. Baba would while away hours folding these critters for me as I studied, until she had gifted me the entire animal kingdom out of paper. It never failed to put a smile on my face. Which can only mean she's buttering me up for some unsavory news. I skeptically scoop up the paper rabbit in my hand and at the touch of my finger upon its nose, it unravels itself. Sure enough, my grandmother has inked a note in cursive inside. My dearest Justice, I have run away. Since I was the one who invited you to stay with me this summer, I'll venture that Since I was the one who invited you to stay with me this summer, I'll venture that this will come as a shock to you. It wasn't part of my plan, but running the cafe was beginning to feel rather droll. Then I remembered it's mugwort season, and also that the witch folk are hosting a mushroom picking festival in the mountains. Much less droll by far. Do not come searching for me. Write to me, though, if you want me to bring you back some mugwort. Otherwise, I shall bring you nothing. Aw, our grandmother's a bitch. I love her. Take care of the place while I'm gone. P.S. I hope you have money. The pantry is empty. Wow, thanks, Gram. I knew it! That wayward old witch! Slumping into one of the table's squishy curtains. Slumping onto one of the table's squishy cushions, I throw my arms up in defeat. Yeah, I'm really hoping that trying to make money is not going to be a large part of this, because otherwise this is gonna not go really well for any of us. I absolutely should have expected this, flying through life by the seat of her pants, living by her every whim, dropping things when they no longer suit her. This entire situation reaches into the far recesses of my mind, conjuring up echoes of countless other past examples of how mercurial Baba could be. Closing up at noon to go skinny dipping in the ocean, hosting a luau party, then passing out after an hour on her own deadly magic punch. Her crimes of capriciousness knew few bounds. She may have taught me everything I know of magic, but early on I had to master brewing coffee and tea, not just potions, to keep this place running smoothly. It suddenly dawns on me exactly why that passerby had acted so suspiciously. Bet she cut and run days ago and told everyone in town not to breathe a word. Yeah, sounds about right. No matter how you cut it, she's just running from her responsibilities again. I seriously have no clue how she managed to keep this place running all these years. My lips press themselves into a thin, stubborn line. Mugwort is my favorite tea, though. Guess it's time to go shopping. Oh, finally some different music. That was starting to get really grating, honestly. An hour or so later, I've made begrudging progress into the cafe's sorry state. With the door now locked and the curtains still tightly drawn, I make use of the privacy by enchanting Baba's dustpan and broom and setting them to work on the floor. They whiz about the room in a waltz, making quick work of any dust or grime in their path. After a brief inspection, all that remains in the fridge is a curdled bottle of milk. The pantry cupboards had also been harboring nothing but dust, but were saved earlier by a trip to the local supermarket. Rest in peace, poor wallet. Okay, good, we did have money, thank Jesus. Luckily, it also seems the cafe's more expensive wares are in plentiful stock. Okay, I would like to thank not only God, but also Jesus that this is not going to be a money-making sim. The exotic plethora of tea leaves and unground coffee beans have been safely stored in bags or dry containers. The siphons, mills, and other apparatus, too, are in good working order. Knowing Baba's devil-may-care attitude, the situation here could have been far worse. To count my blessings, she didn't let any rats inside those sacks. That moment, as if my words had personally offended her efforts, Baba's cat slinks into the room and up onto the counter to glare at me. Here you are, Hannibal, a witch's familiar reduced to a rat catcher. How the mighty fall in the wrong hands. Aw, the cat's name is Hannibal, that's great. But since you don't have anything better to do, if you see any about, you be sure to let me know. When I reach across the counter to scritch beneath her neck, she forgets her grumpiness in a heartbeat, pads off to the bedroom for an afternoon nap. Aw, good kitty. With the dustpan and broom soon done with their work, I thank them for their service and quickly finish putting the cupboards in order. After a satisfying stretch, I pull back the curtains to survey the place triumphantly. Watch out, Linsdale, we're back in business. Standing there with hands on hips, it's a funny feeling that courses through my chest, kind of liberation and pride that comes with being free to wantonly spellcast for the first time in a painfully long while. I missed it even more than I thought I would. Not too rusty, though, thankfully. Wait, what? What's going on, Lily? It Bean. Now then, the last port of call is to flip that sign, and after that... Oh, I don't even remember what I said. I have forgotten everything I've said almost as soon as I've said it, because that's just how my brain works. Sorry. Guess it's time to brew some criminally delicious coffee. That is an understatement. All coffee is criminally delicious. The art is so good in this! This only took a month to do. Are you kidding me? People are wizards. But as soon as I step outside, I pause. My senses are once more splashed by the salty air, the sun's warmth, and the far-off songs of a soaring flock of seagulls. And in my line of sight, the sea itself, a shimmering crystal blue expanse calling me back to its edge. Well, I worked pretty hard, if I do say so myself. Just a little stretch of the legs beforehand couldn't hurt. And so, with slow, meandering strides, I cross the pavement and pace down the small stone staircase. Stone staircase? Okay, yes, that's how you say that. Okay, good job, me. The small stone staircase heading for the beachfront. This is so pretty. Take my time, enjoying the afternoon breeze and the journey all the way to the boardwalk and beyond. When I reach the beach edge, the bitch edge. No, how dare you perceive me! I'm kidding. You're allowed. Only you. No one else. Oh, oops. I didn't mean to skip that. It envelops my feet as I walk, like a floor made of satin. I'm not sure that would happen. The waves, too, are like rolls of crystalline satin sheets being unraveled onto the shore, rolling over rocks, shells, and themselves, and gently slipping back to their source. I almost read that as sauce. Gently slipping back to their sauce. I'm about to slip on some sauce. As ever, Moonbay, you're almost too perfect for words. Aww. I perceive loveliness all the time when I look at your art, Bean. Plop myself down into the sand, stretching out my legs and searching along the water's surface for something. Wonder if she's still out there. Oh, do we have a hot girlfriend? But before I can continue that thought, the phone in my back pocket hums, and when I retrieve it, I see several texts incoming from my parents. The messages cascade simultaneously into the group chat, making it plainly obvious they're both sitting beside each other, typing with a joint agenda. Oh god, now I have to figure out what the mom sounds like too. Did you arrive safely? You forgot to text us. We were worried. How's Baba? Is she doing well? How's her back? And there it is. I sigh, typing back my regular response whenever they awkwardly attempt to bring her up again. If you're that worried, you could always, you know, try talking to her yourself, Dad. I'm sure she'd like to hear from you. From both of you. After a brief exchange ending in I love yous all around, I fling my phone to the side and fall back into the sandbed. I thought they were gonna say I fling my phone into the sea. I wish that we got the choice, because I absolutely would have yeeted it into the ocean. The history between my parents and Baba was fractured, to say the least. In this world, where so few people are gifted with the ability to wield magic, we hide what we are for an easier life. Hundreds of years ago, those without the gift feared us, persecuted us, and worse. The world was messy, the witch folk decided, almost unanimously, that it was better to fade into anonymity than cause trouble. Nowadays, as far as the rest of normal society is concerned, it's known that we exist out there somewhere, but rarely do you see a witch shouting it from the rooftops. Despite the good I know we do, there's no glory in it at all. So, for my parents and Baba, well, Baba had always been an immensely talented witch. For the first time I was sent here to stay with- The first time I was sent to stay here for the first... God damn it. The first time I was sent to stay with her... Stay here... Oh my gosh. I knew this was gonna start. The first time I was sent here to stay with her for the summer, I was 3. She showed me a few God damn it. I accidentally barely touched it and it made the text go. I still remember her sweeping me up when I successfully levitated a paperclip. She was so giddy and it was impossible for her to contain herself. But my parents were different. They never taught me magic, never encouraged me to learn it. All they wished for me was an utterly normal life. They asked Baba to stop teaching me, and that was that. Or so they thought. When they found out I'd flown in the face of their disapproval and had secretly been studying hard under Baba every summer for 10 years, oh boy. I remember that day. Dad's face went a shade of blue I didn't think was possible outside of being hexed. After that, the relationship became strained. They stopped talking, I became their mediator, their owl ferrying messages back and forth. I stopped visiting Linsdale for a while, to give them all time to cool off. A normal life, a boring life devoid of magic. Feel empty just at the thought of it, but honestly, I don't really have the first clue about what I want to do in the future. If only witch folk didn't have to hide who we are. As I raise myself back up to hug my knees, I realize I've been absent-mindedly dragging a finger through the sand all this time. I drew a penis. I've done nothing remotely artistic, of course, just a bunch of badly drawn swirls that all barely resemble shapes at all. These are almost as terrible as Kia's. A spark ignites a recollection in my mind, a spark which sends me flying back to before I'd been interrupted by my parents' messages, back to thoughts of a friend from long ago. My eyes meet the sea again. Kia's home, my childhood friend, who had been as much a part of my summers in Linsdale as my grandmother. Oh, is she a mermaid? Do we know a hot mermaid? We have a hot mermaid girlfriend. Yes. Yes! She was an extraordinary person in her own right. A mermaid who befriended a witch. Yes! This game is great. This is the best game ever. Pong, get that shit out of here. Shy and a little fumbling in the beginning, she barely grasped human language. Kia was just about the only sound she could make. We'd communicate by drawing shapes in the sand, and though hers were terrible, I got pretty good at deciphering them. God, that's cute as hell. I could still clearly remember our first meeting here on the shore. I was 5. Mom and Dad had just asked Baba to stop teaching me magic, and I was wailing into the ocean at the top of my lungs. And it was only once my tears had dried up that I noticed a curious baby mermaid who'd snuck away from home to investigate the surface was peering at me through the waves. As I reminisce, a smile spreads across my face. Kia, that's right. I wonder if she and her family even still swim in these waters. With renewed purpose, I leap up and dust myself off. I tread up and down the beach, scanning the waves for any sign of movement, but unsurprisingly, I don't find a trace of her anywhere. There isn't a fin in sight. Well, that'll teach me for being willfully optimistic. As if mermaids would ever venture this close to shore. They'd be found out in a heartbeat. Still, I haven't exhausted all the tricks up my sleeve just yet. Determined, I set off up and down the beach once again, this time with my eyes to the sand, scouring the golden floor for a very particular object. And finally, wedged between some barnacled rocks, I find exactly what I'm looking for. A prismatic conch, shimmering and weighty to the touch. The magic conch shell. And more importantly, in the hands of a witch, it's a horn that when blown can sing a song only a mermaid could hear. It was an ancient spell Baba had taught me as a child, used by the old witches in times of strife to call mermaids to their aid. That sounds like a really oddly specific thing for that to do. And together, Kia and I had repurposed it. Since the day we met, it had been my way of communicating to her, I'm here, I want to see you. Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out if she's still out there listening for me. As a precaution, I spin about, checking for onlookers, but this corner of the beach is deserted. So, reaching into the recesses of my mind for the ancient spell, I pluck out its melody, note by note, and whisper my request to the shell at my fingertips. White of the waves, my bottomless heart be an ocean of love built just for thee. And if thou art astray in faraway foam, the song of my sea will call you home. As the conch begins to gleam, I gather my breath and blow gently into its tip. Free! But no matter how many times I call, Kia does not appear. The waves simply keep rolling over the sand at my feet, slowly sinking in and causing me to sink. Soaking in and causing me to sink. So she left in search of somewhere better after all. No Baba and no Kia. This truly was shaping up to be a pretty miserable summer, and the pang of pain I feel in my chest is sudden but not unexpected. 3 years ago, when I said goodbye and left Linsdale, I didn't know it would be the last time, and I didn't get a chance to tell her. Somewhat sad, my shoulders droop a little. Someday I'll learn to read and talk. It'll be great. She always was so timid and unsure of herself. I wonder if she waited every summer for me to come back, and I never did. But never one to let sadness get the better of me for long. I clap my cheeks together. What? I'm sorry, I can't. You know the joke I want to make, and I'm not going to because I'm trying to be good. At the very least, I know that right now what I can do is see her off with a smile. I'm sorry, Kia, but I hope wherever you are, you're swimming happy. And that your drawings don't suck anymore. After exhaling my feelings cathartically into the afternoon air, I turn heel and head backwards toward the stairs. Back towards the stairs, not backwards. It's time to open the cafe for the evening. But as my head swims through thoughts of coffee beans, recipes, and measurements, I forget to check for obstacles in my path, and before I know it, I collide with someone else. Ooh, you can be my new hot girlfriend. Actually, no. This lady... It might just be because it's anime, so all the characters kind of look the same anyway, but this lady looks way too much like us for us to romance her. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please excuse me. The bump had successfully knocked me down a stair or two, but as I shake off the pain, her eyes meet mine. Her golden irises, her amethyst hair, everything about her beauty is dazzling, and it temporarily catches me off guard. I'm grateful she seems unharmed. I run my fingers through my hair, somewhat embarrassed. Not at all. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention either. Are you alright? Yes, Her quiet voice quickly trails off, but she continues to stare at me with great intensity, looking me up and down with wide eyes. Puck, you have to be good. You can't be running around, okay? You're gonna knock something over. That's right, the cafe. I don't have time to be wasting here. So I flash her a polite smile and, shooting back up the hill, excuse myself. Well, I'm sorry again. Have a nice evening. Aw, yes. We are gonna have 2 hot girlfriends. One of them is a hot lady. The other is a hot mermaid, presumably hot mermaid. Large leaping strides bring me back to the cusp of the hill in record time. With the afternoon sky already fading into an orange glow, evening is practically here. There? Where? Damn it. I have no concrete grasp of how long Baba's cafe has been closed since she cut and run, but there's one thing I know for certain, and that's that I don't want to keep the Linsdale patrons waiting any longer. It's funny, if I let slip that Baba's irresponsibleness had been... What? Okay, I'm gonna learn to read right now. If I let it slip that Baba's irresponsibleness is what put me into this mess in the first place, I'm actually excited. Rushing about, serving special blends, putting smiles on customers' faces, it was difficult at first, maybe, but I grew to love it. Positive vibes, Justice. Maybe this will be a good summer after all. With renewed energy, I begin to mentally roll up my sleeves. Maybe you should physically do that too, sweetie. But just as I round the corner, an unpleasant sight makes my newly buoyed mood sink faster than a stone anchor. What the? Directly outside the cafe, pulled unceremoniously up onto the curb, is a garish red sports car. It's brand new and clearly far too expensive to belong to any resident in Linsdale. Are you serious? What sort of self-centered idiot parks their car square in front of a shop entrance? Already ticked off, I watch as an elderly man with a cane struggles to shuffle through the gap in the pavement, grasping at the wall cafe for support. Way to go, you jackass. He gets his revenge as he passes by, though, flipping the bird to the car's tinted windows as he goes. Oh, I thought that was the guy who was in the car. I was like, dude, why are you just assuming? But no, apparently that was just a pedestrian. Heh, you go, Grandpa. And if I had any doubts that this gaudy ride would spell trouble, they're blown away as soon as the driver steps outside. Oh, it's gonna be the hot lady, isn't it? Nope. A tall, blonde fop in sunglasses and a jean jacket slams the door behind himself, yawning loudly. Leaning back lazily onto the car roof, he slips his sunglasses up into his hairline and clicks his tongue at the elderly man's back. I'm about to storm up and give him a piece of my mind when he pulls out his phone, the latest model it looks like, and begins snapping up landscape shots of the cafe. Ahem! May I help you? Sliding his free hand casually into his back pocket, he turns to flash me a smile. It's so not cute. Are you the owner? I square up my shoulders as much as humanly possible, arms folded crossly. Honey, you really need to fix that jacket, because it's getting on my nerves at this point. Yes, I am. Name's Justice, and I don't appreciate you blocking the door my customers use. Customers? He cockily raises his eyebrow and looks around at the now very empty street. He pulls down his sunglasses once or twice in a mocking motion. He's not wearing sunglasses, though. Huh, well how's about that? Guess my prescription's wrong because I don't see a single soul sniffing around. Looks like what you have here is a bona fide dead spot. Well, maybe if someone wasn't parked directly in front of my door. Dead spot? You better not be insulting my cafe. Another condescending smile slowly stretches across his face. He's clearly looking down on me and doesn't care to provide any kind of answer. He just continues on, ignoring my question. Not an insult, per se, it just so happens that this is exactly the sort of place I'm looking for. You see, I'm a jackass. With a twinkle in his eye, he straightens up and spins his phone into both hands. His whole demeanor changes as he begins typing on the screen with lightning speed. So, what's your specialty here? Cafe Cubano, Chinese teas, matcha? You do serve something other than salty tap water, I assume. Sure, there's a bottle of rancid milk in the fridge with your name on it. Yes, all of those things. We aren't some backwater cafe that only serves standard drip swill. We? So you run this place with someone else? My grandmother. She's just not here right now. Uh-huh. And what's this place called? Are you freaking kidding me? Look at the damn sign, poster boy. I sigh, loudly and dramatically. Coffee Curiosities. His fingers pause their tapping for a moment. He takes the time to raise a smug eyebrow at me. Right, bravo. No, really, it's inspired. A little desperate and only slightly nauseating. He stands up straight, takes one more large, gulping glance at the cafe's facade. Then he flips his phone and snaps a headshot of my startled face. It's a perfect blend of material for my blog, that is. Your blog? He gives me a look that is equal parts smug and pitying. It's perhaps the most punchable expression I have ever seen. You have no idea who I am, do you? No? Wait, but now that I get a really good look at him, he actually does look somewhat familiar. Here, a souvenir. Don't bend it now. It's premium embossed. With a wink, he slips a business card into my hand. Fancy gold script spells out cuisine blogger and the name Mikhail. Thanks. Guess I'll use it when I run out of toilet paper. Snap the card from his fingers, making sure to look thoroughly unimpressed as I do. His smarmy veneer cracks just a little at that. Charmed, I'm sure. Now then, let's hope your coffee wildly lives up to my expectations, shall we? I can feel my blood boiling. The way that smirk plays at the edge of his mouth, it's perfectly obvious what his expectations are. Though I still can't place his face, I've read about bloggers just like him. Vindictive types, traipsing around the country, targeting coffee shops with small customer bases, searching for the worst of the worst for their scathing reviews, like sharks feasting on krill. For a second time, I slide my gaze grimly over his red sports car with its ostentatious wheels, shiny mirrors, and waxed gleam. I suppose when you're the scum on the surface of the industry, it doesn't matter if you destroy businesses wherever you go, as long as those clicks keep coming in. When are we going to see the hot lady again? Well, he is not going to drag Baba's Cafe through the mud on my watch. So, here I am in the flesh, your only paying customer and all that. I drove 2 hours from the city to find this place. Aren't you going to let me in? I stride up to the door and start to unlock it, but inwardly that boiling blood is starting to boil over. I'm in no mood to play nice. In fact, just for the audacity of coming here and trying to mess with a witch's business, I'm perfectly happy to play just a little dirty. With the help of some magic. Slipping my hand inconspicuously behind my back, I start to weave a spell in the air. I step towards him, all the while a sweet smile plastered on my face. Sure, I don't have a problem with that. You're welcome to try my coffee. Quickest way to get you off my property. But you might not want to step inside just yet. Because... oh no, we have choices. What do we do? What do we do? I guess, do we want, like... Do we want to be, like, you know, nice, or do we want to be a bit of an asshole? Prank? I'm gonna go with prank. Prank. You left the handbrake off on your car. Whoa! He spins about just in time to see his shiny red ride slowly slipping back down the hill on loosened wheels. Oh, yes. Bianca! Bianca, come back! Who the fuck names a car Bianca? What the hell kind of name is that for your car? Mikhail bolts immediately, tripping over himself down the uneven, cobbled street in pursuit. The car's moving so slowly. He'll manage. It's fine, right? Bianca! Ah! Ow! And down goes Mikhail like a sack of spuds. His face acquaints itself with the pavement in with a colossal clap. Yeah, that seems a little lot for a prank. Uh-oh. The car, too, reaches the steep incline and starts to speed up. Nobody is going to catch it on foot now. I stretch out my arms, frantically inking a new magic circle in the airspace around me. But I'm unable to cast the reversal magic in time, and the car careens into a lamppost. After a few teetering seconds, said lamppost tips forward, but thankfully stops just short of smashing into the roof. Oops. Mikhail rushes forward and falls upon the car in misery, like a man whose soul has been crushed. Bianca, my darling, no, no! Oh my gosh, this guy is so insufferable. Father is going to kill me. Bring, bring. With timing so impeccable, I'm almost convinced I'd somehow cast a second spell. Mikhail's phone explosively starts to ring. Upon seeing the caller ID, the blood drains from his face. Beep. Father, it's, good to hear from you. No, I'm fine. You're back from Hawaii? Well, yes, of course I can, but, Father, about the, car you bought me, well, see, it's a funny story. Having completely forgotten about me, Mikhail woefully shuffles away, out of earshot to take the phone call. That wasn't my fault, right? Nah, accident, Justice, not vandalism, just an accident. You'd think that we would have thought of doing something else, considering that there was, like, a hill there that we have to know about. Like, we have to know that there's a hill there, because we live here. So, like, you'd think we would have done something less dangerous, or less potentially dangerous. Yep. Nothing to worry about. And so, mostly smug, yet just ever so slightly regretting my influence on this turn of events, I take the opportunity to back away through the cafe door, swinging the sign to open along the way. The minutes, then tens of minutes, painfully tick by. Not a single potential customer steps inside or even hazards a peek through the windows. I start by leaning over the counter, head in palms, alternating between watching the clock hands and the bell above the door, but I quickly get bored and my twitchy hands tap the counter, searching for something to do. Mikhail's business card is nearby, exactly where I'd thrown it earlier, so I retrieve it and twirl it around absent-mindedly. Let's see how famous this guy really is. Whoa, seriously? A quick phone search pulls up hundreds of results. Blog posts with hits in the tens of thousands, sponsorship ties to the prominent worldwide cafe chain Moonbucks, a hefty follower base on social media, and even a narcissistic modeling portfolio of monochrome shirtless photographs. Oh no, we blushed. Why would we blush? He's an asshole. Just great. As if I don't have enough problems right now. Yeah, and what's with these pictures? He's dripping wet in half of them. Did someone turn a hose on or something? So stupid. Now, more irked than ever, I chuck my phone aside and go back to watching the clock. All this inactivity is doing nothing except stiffening my muscles and making me anxious. 30 minutes and not a whiff of anyone, not even one of the regulars. This can't be right. I recall my previous summers here, when there were always non-magics and witch folk around, mingling, joking, and shooting friendly banter back and forth with Baba. Back then, her cafe never seemed wanting for patrons. Each day, a steady stream of satisfied customers would come and go at an even pace. It had never been busy, but it was comfortable. Sure, it's unlikely that there'd be a lot of witch folk making the trip now. No doubt they're all up on that mountaintop with Baba, picking mugwort and betting on drunken duels. Fuck, I wish we were there. But for there to be no non-magics around either? I glance back at the clock, disappointed by what I see. It's far too late now to be trying to pluck customers off the street. But if I root around, there may be something of use lying around somewhere. So, determined to be productive in some capacity, I trawl through some of the lower kitchen cupboards, hoping to find something to use to attract new customers in the morning. Sensing activity, Hannibal slinks into the kitchen and curls around my leg. With a pointed meow, she leads me to a hatch under a rug on the floor, below one of the opened cupboards. Nice! Good job, Hannibal! She purrs silkily and continues to circle around as I rummage through the contents of the hatchbox. There isn't much of use, but I do stumble on an old signboard for advertising and some pastel chalk sticks. This is perfect. If I spruce it up a little, it'll do for a mini-menu at the end of the street. Hannibal pokes her little head beneath my arm, demanding scritches for her hard work. I'm so distracted, I fail to hear the bell chiming at the door. Of course we're distracted. We're petting a cat. I get distracted petting cats. Good girl. Who's gonna get some fishy wishes tonight? That's right, you are. Excuse me? Ow! Just a second, I'll be right with you. Clutching the bruised crown of my head that just exchanged blows with the cupboard door, I totter embarrassedly back to my feet and heave myself over the counter. A radiant sight greets me. Be the hot girl, yes! Oh, hello, I already forgot the voice I gave her. She had like a kind of a deep husky voice, I think, sort of-ish, right? Holy shit, that fly that is on my second monitor is gigantic. That thing is a monster. Fishy wishies? Sorry, I was talking to the cat. Oh, I remember you. Her eyes visibly sparkle, and her cheeks pinken. You do? Of course, the lady from the beach, right? I'm so sorry, again, for bumping into you back there. She's gonna be our mermaid friend, like, secretly, isn't she? Oh, no, that's quite alright. So that's what they meant. Somehow she looks kind of sad. Did I say something wrong? An awkward silence settles over us. As it stretches on, she starts to comb a finger nervously through a loose curl of hair. Well, this is a fine way to start the evening, by making my only customer uncomfortable. Applying my kindest, most sincere smile, I gesture toward one of the seats at the counter. I can at least salvage the situation by acting professional now. Where are my manners? You're here to order, right? What can I get you? We have a menu around here somewhere. As I rummage around behind the counter, her body language is shy. The woman's striking, sandy eyes watch me intently. I can't help but feel a little nervous. Ah, there it is. I slide the menu across the counter, a lavish, high-end table listing all our served items, including coffee blends, black, white, and green teas, small meals, and desserts. But this tablet, much like the cafe itself, has a mystical secret up its sleeve. A coffee cup-shaped tab on the screen, enchanted to be invisible to non-magic customers, conceals a hidden secret menu, one that displays some of Baba's oldest potions and other recipes, designed for more magical patrons. I admit I was surprised earlier to find such a thing myself. A paper menu was all that had existed before. But the tablet looks brand new and screams impulse purchase, which unfortunately also happens to be one of Baba's many bad habits. The woman graciously takes the tablet from me. Tucking a periwinkle curl behind one of her stylish earrings, she begins scrolling intuitively through the menu. She's so elegant and glamorous. and her eyelashes have this beautiful dewy quality to them, like black waves breaking on the beach at night. So strong was that association, I was curiously struck by a sense of familiarity. But then, you have nothing new on the menu, I take it? Sorry, you could say I'm somewhat of a regular here? I know this place and its owner very well. Oh, then I take it you also know my grandmother is out of town, right? I do, but it's no trouble at all. I didn't come here today to see her. She tilts her head shyly. It's a devastating move, but I don't think she's doing it on purpose. Is she enjoying her vacation? Oh, yes, I'm sure she's having a whale of a time. She pulls a stunt like this far too often. I'm half convinced she dragged me back here just to rope me into running this place for a few weeks. The woman shuffles somewhat bashfully in her seat, lowering her eyes to her lap. Well, if it brought you back to Linsdale, then I'm glad she did. Just think of this as a salacious encounter. Did she mean to say serendipitous? With a gentle smile, she clears her throat and taps the screen with her nail. The highlighted drink is the salty kelp latte, a popular sea-based item from the secret menu. This one, if I may. It's my usual order. Huh? Sure thing, it'll just be a moment. I flash her a knowing smile before stepping over to the kitchen area to prepare her order. As I lay my hands on the glass bottle of kelp leaves, a spark of inspiration hits me. And so Oh, we have another decision to make. Are we gonna... Okay, so if we just do it normally, we're probably not gonna fuck up. Because I think if we try to impress her by doing it with magic, we're gonna fuck something up, and it's gonna be awful. So we're gonna do it normally. Everyone agrees. We're not gonna try to be fancy, because I don't want to fuck it up with her. Nah, I may be itching to use some magic, but there's no need to show off. She might not appreciate her latte floating all over the shop. So instead I get to work quietly and efficiently at the kitchen counter, preserving the energy I would have spent on using magic. First, using the mortar and pestle, I grind the kelp blades into algae powder and lightly dust with sugar. Then I slide a jug of fresh milk under the coffee machine's steaming wand. It soon fluffs up deliciously with tiny microbubbles. Perfect. Alright, maybe a little flourish wouldn't hurt. I glide across the floor, spinning a cup and saucer into the woman's hands. My deft fingers pour the powder into the basin of the cup with a dash of seawater on top. Lastly, raising the milk jug to a high angle, I let it pour. It cascades down into the cup like a silken waterfall, warming all it touches. Twirl of a spoon and the drink is made. The woman's eyes light up and she takes a big, delighted sniff of the sweet and salty steam rising up to tickle her nose. What a heavenly smell. And now for the finishing touch. Could you tell me your name? That's right, I don't want her to make her accidentally roll down the street. The other guy I don't give a shit about. He can roll down the street all he wants. Not her. She's not allowed. Unless we're rolling together, you know what I mean. She looks agitated, as if she has particular trouble answering this question. It's, Kiana. Alright, sit tight, Kiana. Our character is a fucking thembo. How have they not figured out that this is obviously our hot mermaid girlfriend? Then again, I don't think we're themgo. We're not big enough. That is not a very muscly shoulder. We're just a dumb twink. I reach across the counter for a thin, nozzled bottle filled with caramel, and in small, delicate letters, write her name across the milk foam. And there we have it. Bon appetit. As she puts the drink to her lips, the warm steam brings a soft flush to her cheeks. A small, contented sigh escapes her as she returns the cup to the saucer. So, my salty kelp latte. Does it meet a mermaid's approval? Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you. We have finally learned. We're not an idiot, we can be taught. I'm so proud of this character. Sorry, I'm still drinking tea. I might have to take a quick break soon to make some more. Yes, very much so. It's scrumptious. Glad to hear it. But I'm pretty sure you mean scrumptious. Oh, my goodness. This is embarrassing. Human language is still so, hard. Right. I've been studying so much, but I still mess up all the time. Her whole face breaks out in a fierce flush. The quiet elegance I'd seen in her earlier has completely peeled away. Nothing could have prepared me for this. It's like her demeanor has done a complete 180. I thought she was demure, but I guess she is just shy about making mistakes in front of a human. Either way, it's absolutely adorable. Haha, don't apologize, it's cute, the way you mix up your words. It reminds me of... No way! Okay, so we still are kind of an idiot. Oh, have fun! Have fun eating dinner. I have to go knock my cat off the window because he's like scratching something. Okay, never mind. He got down himself. Ah! Oh no, someone new is here! I don't know who all the new people are. I don't know everyone's name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, I have 6 people. I have 6 whole people in my stream, and I was just about to take a very quick... Okay, cool. I didn't know. Okay, I am going to take a super quick break because I need to make some tea. Or coffee, possibly. I don't know. I'm gonna make more tea because I'm very close to being out of tea. But I will leave the music on. I won't put a hold screen up because I didn't actually make a be right back screen. I only have the starting soon screen. But I'm also leaving my mic on, so you'll probably hear my coffee maker. And you'll hear every joint in my body crack. What are you doing, little boy? Being naughty? Okay, I am back. I am back. I have more tea. I am ready to go. No way! Kia? Yay! Aww, we can be taught. Ow. I don't know why I wasn't expecting the games to be like this long. Because it's like, the art is so good, and they're made... They only have a month to make them. Like, they're not... or at least you're not supposed to, like, you know, start anything, art, or... Like, you can kind of make a plan for what you're gonna do, but... And, like, outline, but, like, you can't actually, like... make the stuff that you're gonna use in the game. So the fact that they did, like, all of this gorgeous artwork... and... like, a story that so far is shaping up to be much longer than 1 hour. Like, that's incredible. And so I've been visiting the cafe ever since my Brindling ended. I suppose I look quite different now, don't I? That's quite the understatement. I didn't recognize you at all. An hour later, Kia and I are sitting together, lattes in hand at the counter. We've been talking so animatedly, I barely think either of us have paused for breath. By now I recognize her familiar shyness and her adorable mannerisms, but I have to admit, seeing her adult human form for the first time is still throwing me for a loop. Perfectly understandable when I consider she still looked like a child 3 years ago. The changes to her face, in particular, are profound, but not unexpected. After all, I know very well that mer people experience growth very differently from humans. A mer person's childhood, their Brindling period, would last from the time they hatched until they reached a normal age of human adolescence. A normal age of adult human. Good job, me. Throughout the Brindling, mer children would barely appear to age at all, maintaining a childlike appearance for years and years. Wow. And then, at the Brindling's end, what awaited them was a highly accelerated transformation into adult body, and the ability to adopt a human form. After I met Kia, because we couldn't really communicate at first, I remember wanting to learn more about her kind. I found out about the Brindling and the change through one of Baba's old books. As I also recall, I had to climb up her bookcase like a monkey to get it, and slipped on the way up. Kia cried for hours when I turned up at the beach covered in bruises. So, when did your Brindling end? When I was about 17. It was a year and 3 months after you left. Not that I was counting. When she catches me smiling, Kia turns away and scrambles for her drink. It's the cutest thing. But I'm suddenly reminded of something else. Wait, earlier, didn't you say your name was Kiana? Well, after you didn't recognize me at the beach, I was a little embarrassed. She sighs heavily, resting her hand over her heart. And even though I came to the cafe just to see you again, I still couldn't bring myself to say anything. But Kiana is the land name I chose for myself, so I wasn't exactly lying to you. I just had trouble pronouncing it when we were children. I do use it around Linsdale. My family in the ocean still use my sea name, of course. I probably shouldn't pry into that. Mermaid sea names are private, intimate things after all. I guess I should be careful not to call her Kia too much around town, though, either. They're like the Hanar in Mass Effect, because they've got their face name and their soul name. They're like jellyfish. With that niggling question out of the way, I loop the conversation back around to what really matters. So, how was it? Your change, I mean. Oh, it was, better than I expected. The growing pains were bad for a while, but compared to the others who experienced it at the same time, my change was relatively quick. She takes the last few sips of her latte, then lays the empty cup down and fingers it pensively. Fuck, what you doing, baby? What you doing, little boy? No, you can't drink my tea. That's way too hot for you. I'm just happy that my outsides finally match who I am inside. When we used to play at the beach together, we couldn't go far because, well... I chuckle as I head back around the kitchen counter to wash our cups and saucers. No legs? Right. You were growing up, and in my mind, I was growing with you, but physically, for me, nothing was changing, and... Every year, it felt like you were getting further and further away, and there was nothing I could do about it. We used to draw so many shapes in the sand. All the things I wanted to do, all those places I wanted to visit. But because of me, we couldn't do any of it. Her eyes glaze over. She suddenly looks quite dejected. Not wanting to watch her beat herself up, I take her hand in mine. But we can now, right? Exactly. No more hiding in the rock pools or covering up her fins with a blanket I brought from the cafe. We can stray as far from the beach as we like now, go anywhere we want. There is one fly in the house, and Puck is going absolutely apeshit over it. Now that you have your human form, the world is your oyster. You just let me know what you want to do, and we'll go do it. It works like a charm. Kiana's sandy eyes light up, and she leans across the counter, brimming with excitement. Okay. I think someone is at my door? Okay, no. I thought I heard knocking, but I think it was just Puck knocking into something when he was being a little brat. Oh, but with your grandmother gone, you'll be working here full-time, won't you? Then, until we can do something, I'll stop by every day to see you. I shrug my shoulders, gesturing towards the empty room in an exaggerated way. Thanks. I'd appreciate the company in more ways than one. As you can see, this place isn't exactly hopping. Without a regular or two, quite honestly, I might struggle to make ends meet this summer. And based on today, I'll take just about any customer I can get. Anyone but that vain fop, anyhow. The more I remember his smug face, the crabbier I get. It's at the point when I realize that I'm not so much drying the cups as grinding the tea towel into them that... Jingle, jingle. The bell at the door rings for a second time. Welcome, take a seat and I'll be with you straight... Speak of the devil. I don't remember the voice I gave him either. I forget the voices so fast. I'm sorry, I'm bad. I'm bad at everything. Mikhail strides inside, looking the interior over with both hands shoved into his jean pocket with a slightly furrowed brow. He's looking decidedly less cool and collected than this afternoon, though it's obvious he's trying his best to mask it. Pucky baby, you gotta be good. Yeah, you gotta be good, little boy. Yeah, you gotta be a good little boy. You gotta be a good baby. Nice place you have here. The dusty cracks in the wall are a particularly nice feature. He is not cute. Not at all. I mean, like, really, in comparison, he's not. Like, he literally has nothing on either of these characters, honestly. Like... Our character is an idiot who doesn't know how to wear a jacket, but they're still hella cute. Like, look at them. They are cute as hell. And Kiana over here, like, fucking adorable. My jaw joints creak like unoiled metal as I force a smile. Linsdale's tourism prides itself on the town's invigorating, beachy sea breeze. Why deprive our customers just because they're indoors? Cute. Very cute. Sensing Kiana's discomfort, I gesture to the counter seats with an audible huff. Well, sit down if you're here to order. You are here to order? Mikhail slides into the seat directly beside Kiana. He beams obnoxiously as he pulls out his phone. Of course, and I don't need a menu. Just serve me your best attempt at coffee. You going to pay for it? Please, of course I will. I'm not trying to put you out of business. Though I retreat to the back of the kitchen to begin scooping and grinding the coffee beans, I keep one watchful eye on Mikhail at all times. Thankfully, though his gaze is still roaming all over the interior, he isn't trying to snap pictures. But it's obvious he's searching for something. A juicy tidbit, a draw for his story. And so, after his eyes complete their rounds of the decor, they naturally come to fall on his neighbor. Are you a regular here? Yes, I come here most every week. His eyes widen in genuine surprise. Really? What's your usual order? If it's that good, maybe I should have ordered that too. Oh, She flutters her eyes to me, begging for assistance, but I'm way ahead of her. I make the 3 strides back to the counter in a heartbeat and step in. She's a special customer. Her order's not on the menu. It's a, shall we say, an acquired local taste. I doubt you'd like it. Gotta admit, though, I'm sorely tempted to put seawater in his coffee just for the heck of it. Must resist. Well, that's a shame. You'll have to let me in on that secret drink sometime, miss. Ever sweet and polite, Kiana holds out her hand to introduce herself. Kiana. Just Kiana is fine. And, I'm afraid I don't know much about the recipe, or coffee, for that matter. Just as I become concerned that Mikhail might be about to defile Kiana's hand with a kiss, another one of those pretentious business cards appears in his hand, and he drops it into hers. Enchanté, I'm Mikhail, and I just happen to be an expert on coffee. I'm a cafe blogger. Ooh, cuisine? It's pronounced... Oh, no, wrong character. Wrong voice. It's pronounced cuisine, Kiana. It means food. I turn to Mikhail and scramble for a cover-up. She is not from around here. But her accent? He doesn't look convinced at all, but thankfully Kiana's pure-hearted curiosity comes to the rescue. You write about food? Then you're here to write about coffee curiosities? Yes, that's the intention. No doubt you've heard of my... But Kiana has already stopped listening. Justice, this is perfect. Now you won't have to worry about finding customers. Once he tastes your coffee, he's sure to love it. And if he writes something good, people will come from all over Linsdale. Kiana, my sweet summer child, your innocence is wasted on him. He's not that kind of blogger. As I slowly churn the coffee grinder, I give Mikhail a disapproving side-eye, and he shifts in his seat. The twitchy guy sitting beside you only visits coffee shops he expects to be bad. His blog is just a collection of hatchet jobs, designed to be shocking and to tank any business he writes about. He's only here because he thinks my coffee is gonna taste so undeniably terrible it'll make for a juicy article. With one last yank, I grind the last of the coffee beans into dust. Or have I missed anything out? Mikhail practically rolls his eyes into the next century. Hey now, you make it sound like I'm the enemy here. Ask my darling readers and they'll tell you. The only 2 things I'm guilty of in this business are being criminally handsome and honest. He's really kind of plain looking. Like, he's super boring. And the coffee they served at all those other cafes just happened to be honestly awful. So just think of it this way. This is your perfectly fair chance to impress me. Not that you will. I've savored all the finest blends this world has to offer, but you're welcome to try. It seems to take Kiana a few moments to process all this information. I guess she still isn't too knowledgeable about this side of human society yet, but once it does click into place, she looks crushed. But that's... How could you do something like that to hardworking people? That's so despicable. Despectacle. And I guess that one was supposed to be despicable. Yeah, because I read it incorrectly the first time, because I'm stupid. I'm happy she has my back, but Kiana's just wasting her breath. Besides, this coffee critic just unwittingly challenged a witch. I'm not the one who's about to be eaten alive. It's alright, Kiana. He has the right to do what he likes, and so do I. All I have to do is prove him wrong. So, go ahead. With a single finger, I slide a cup across the counter in one fluid motion. It stops just shy of Mikhail's hand, taunting him like a gauntlet being laid down in a declaration of war. It emits a powerful, bitter aroma so tantalizing that it clings to the air and doesn't let go. A mouth-watering aroma no person could resist. You know, I hope we didn't just, like, horrifically fuck up again and enchant this guy's coffee and he just... It's like in movies where they put eye drops in someone's drink because they're like, oh, it'll make a funny bathroom joke and, like, they'll get diarrhea or something, but that can actually kill people. The secret house blend with a little pinch of something special mixed in. Please don't be eye drops. I sneak Kiana a mischievous wink, and she understands my meaning implicitly. Drink up, you won't be disappointed. What's the matter? You should drink it before it gets cold. I won't let you use the excuse that it was bad simply because you ruined its flavor by letting it sit too long. Brimming with devilry, I decide to push him just a little harder. As the expert here, you wouldn't make that mistake, would you? Watching him squirm and tug at the collar of his jacket, I realize I'm enjoying myself far too much. Still, I don't take my eyes off of him. I stare him down until he finally gives in, puts the cup to his lips, and... all that bravado and it's mediocre after all. But he takes another sip. Exactly, it's completely... and another. Completely... and another, and another, and another. He drinks and drinks until the veneer rips away, and he finally throws his head back, shamelessly chugging the hot liquid until he has lapped up every drop, and the bottom of the cup is all that remains. Hunching over, he slams the cup down on the counter and stares at it in dumb disbelief. He's shaken and a little breathless, and there's something clouded about his expression. Delicious. Aw, yeah. We did magic for good instead of evil. Possibly. It's 9 p.m. Closing time draws near on this, my first day running the cafe. As I finish scribbling down orders onto a pad of receipt paper, I rip the page out and hand it over. So, 3 secret blends, 1 small, 2 grandes. That'll be 7 gold. He's been scowling like this ever since he finished his first cup. Truthfully, he looks more mystified than anything else. After the first cup, he'd sat shell-shocked for several minutes, then sprung up and demanded 2 more of the same drink in quick succession. When they were ready, Kiana and I had huddled together, watching him discreetly over the tops of our own lattes. He never took more than 1 small sip at a time, crossing his arms and quietly ruminating over the taste before going back for another sip. We lost count of how many times he furrowed his brow, how many pictures he took, or how many notes he typed into his phone. After half an hour, I thought he'd finally admit defeat, but... Mikhail, 7 gold. Right now, Mikhail is clutching onto his gold, pouting comically. He looks like a child who doesn't want to give up his favorite marbles unless his parent agrees to trade him a cookie. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost feel sorry for him. No matter how hard he racks his brain, he's never going to be able to figure out the secret. Wait, why do I feel more guilty for cheating at coffee than I did wrecking his car? Oh, right. Yeah, here. Thanks. Here's your change. I don't get it. How? Tell me how. It's all finally too much for his pride, and he explodes, slamming his hand down on the counter. Oh, I guess I kind of reverse Dumbledore that then, didn't I? How is your coffee that good? This place has terrible reviews everywhere. It's a dead spot online. There's no way the coffee could be this good. Wait, terrible reviews? When he sees I've no intention of answering him, Mikhail clasps his head, defeated, and sighs. He's still pouting like a little kid. Tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow to make absolutely sure it wasn't a fluke. I'm not writing my review until I know you're not cheating. So, bring your A game. I kind of want to know how someone would cheat at making coffee. Like, yeah, just put crack cocaine in it so that people get addicted to it. Looking forward to it. Gah! He concedes and stomps away to gather up his phone, and as he moves out of earshot, a very apologetic-looking Kiana takes his place. She leans in and whispers in my ear, "Is he going to be alright? He looks kind of upset." He'll get over it, and I have a feeling he might turn out to be quite useful. Right? Like, how does one even cheat at coffee? How is that a thing that you can do? As I'd done for Mikhail, I write out her receipt and pass it on. Here you go. How were the lattes? Not salty enough? She puts her hand to her face, cheeks pink with contentedness. Not at all. They were perfect. Even more so than your grandmother's. Your kelp lattes leave me feeling completely refreshed. Being out of the sea for so long sure must be tough, huh? Anytime you need to pick me up, you know where I am. Thank you. Just as Mikhail is making his way back, Kiana puts her hand into her purse, fishing around for gold. She's fumbling a little, like she's having trouble. Ah, I forgot. Maybe she doesn't even know how human currency works yet. But before I can cover her, Mikhail steps forward, trying to act chivalrous. No need to be flustered. I've more than enough for both of us. Oh, it's fine, I think. Here, is this enough? She tips out the entire contents of her purse onto the table. A whopping, shiny mountain of gold, individual coins spill off the counter onto the floor. What the? Kiana, it was 8 gold, not 800. Oh. Well, that's okay. I have so much anyway. Just take it. She turns to Mikhail with the sweetest, innocent smile. Would you like me to pay for yours too, Mr. Mikhail? No, it's... Mumbling something about how he had already paid, Mikhail picks his jaw up off the ground and quickly sees himself out. Did I say something wrong? No, you didn't. Don't worry about him. I paused, thinking back to what Mikhail had let slip earlier. Kiana, this cafe, does it have a bad reputation in Linsdale? Oh. Late into the night, I'm staring absent-mindedly into Baba's crystal ball with my hat on the table, a fuzzy blanket around my shoulders, and Hannibal in my lap. Baba's rabbit-shaped letter is still hopping about on the desk, deftly dodging all of Hannibal's impish paw swipes. All around us, the dustpan and broom go about their nighttime cleaning. Sweep, sweep. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Still can't stop thinking about it. Terrible reviews. That's what he said. Kiana didn't seem to know anything about it, but then again, I doubt she'd pay much attention to something like that. No reason not to just find out myself, once and for all. I slip my phone from my pocket, punch in a few keywords, and hit enter. Sure enough, it turns up a dozen results. None of them good. About this, at least. It turns out Mikhail hadn't been exaggerating after all. Dismal star ratings, mentions of the crummy decor, photographic evidence of bad service. There's one that even looks like a secret shot taken from under someone's armpit. No way. Baba's just plain asleep in this one. At the counter? Just not even trying to hide it. All of the public reviews, at least, seem to have been written from the point of view of outsiders. But that didn't comfort me much. It only means that the Linsdale residents still care enough about Baba as a friend not to put her online. And let me guess, all these ratings go back... Yep, 3 years. Not so subtly, back to the end of my last summer at Linsdale. Suddenly, extremely irked all over again, I grab a pillow and hurl it in the general direction of the bookcase. Several old ledgers come tumbling down and clatter to the ground. Honestly, Baba, you're a powerful witch. If you didn't want to run a cafe in the first place, why didn't you just do literally anything else? This is exactly why Dad's always worried about you. After screaming out some of my frustration into the void, I haul myself over the tatty pile of books and start gathering them up. Hannibal trots near, stepping all over the ledgers, then curls up on them for a snooze. She's about as helpful as a sixth toe. And what about you, Didn't think to mention that tidbit, did you? Tea is very tasty. The truth is, even if her heart had never really been in the cafe, I know exactly why Baba chose to stay in Linsdale all these years. Once she'd laughed and told me it was because she could lie in the sand in a bikini drinking coconut juice every day, but really, it was because of all the shirtless surfers, wasn't it? I pick up the latest of the ledgers, shaking Hannibal off the cover, but I stop when I realize it's this year's edition. Something in me holds back from returning it to the shelf before taking a peek inside. A feeling, more like a terrible wish's intuition, that Baba had one more bony skeleton in her closet waiting for me to discover it. I sure hope skeleton is bony, otherwise it's not a skeleton. Her escape, the bad reviews, the empty pantry, the shifty locals, even the brand new tablet, all the clues were aligning to suggest one very damning picture. So I thumbed through the first few pages, and my face grows ashen. I knew it. She's totally broke. It's almost as if I can feel the skeleton of fate springing from the darkness of that proverbial closet to put its hands around my neck. But that's not all. At my feet, the tiny paper rabbit bounds up, cruelly announcing, by a cute tilt of its head, that it has one more message for me. It levitates up and unfolds itself in the air, stopping at eye level. A space at the very bottom of the letter slowly stains with ink. A second postscript that had been hidden until this exact moment. Justice. P.P.S. That's right, I'm broke. Don't know how that happened, really. Be a dear and sort something out before I have to file for bankruptcy. I believe in you. God damn it. Oh my god, the cat is cute. The cat is so cute. She's like a fluffy little Persian Siamese. At the crack of dawn, the alarm goes off. My eyes snap open and I launch myself out of bed, almost burying a sleeping Hannibal in the duvet. I shake off. After a brisk run in the spot, I slap my face a few times until I'm absolutely fully awake and ready to deal with this nightmarish situation. Also, is that tree just growing directly out of the floor? Because it kind of looks like it is. Alright, action plan for today. Step 1, get dressed. I tear the wardrobe door open, throwing whatever I touch first onto my body. Being fashion conscious isn't going to make a difference today. Okay. Step 2. God, my back is really starting to hurt. Don't think about how much pain you're going to inflict on Baba when she shows her face. No plotting, no curses, no hexes, nothing. Focus. Today is about the customers, cash and coffee, nothing else. But mostly cash. I leave the bedroom behind and hurry down the corridor toward the kitchen, snapping life into the closed curtains, the air conditioner, and air conditioner with my fingers as I go. Cool air and sunlight flood the room as I step outside to flip the sign. With the sign set to open, I pause briefly to place a kind hand on the warm cafe wall and take in the crisp, briny morning. Morning, Cafe Curiosities. It's a beautiful day. Step 3, save this place. Save my home. Tell me, because I'm dying to know, do the bricks ever talk back? I turn about to see him grinning mischievously, and clearly in a better mood than I'd expected today. The bare skin peeking out above his t-shirt is already glistening a little from the tropical morning heat. Oh, great, his Scandinavian ass is already getting sunburned. It's been 10 minutes. You look... Don't say cute, don't say cute, don't say cute. If this game actually makes me say it, I'm not saying it because we have a hot mermaid wife. Sweaty. Oh, thank you. It's called Fashion Sweaty, look it up. Do you like Sweaty? Oh my god. No, I don't. Stop trying to make me like this character, because it's not working. He throws his head back, laughing at my reaction, before taking a few steps closer. No, I'm filing a restraining order. I am officially filing a restraining order. Stay away. This is now my child. This character is now my child. You cannot come near them. Do not come near my child. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing, mostly. Listen, I did some thinking last night over in the, well, quite honestly, very subpar hotel I stayed in. My car's in for repairs, so it looks like I'll be stuck here a while, you see. So I'm not here for a fight, but so long as I'm here, I will take another cup of that special house blend of yours. Every day, for research purposes only. You know, I'd really like the idea more that this character has a crush on our character. Because our character is cute as hell and everyone should have a crush on them, but like, they are after a cute mermaid and they have better things to... They have better people in their life than to be crushing after this fucking boring ass blondie. But like, man, this guy wishes that he could romance our cute little idiot. The image of the dusty pile of ledgers in Baba's secret room flashes up in my mind, the red ink scrawled across their pages, the zeros backing every number. Suddenly, I'm feeling very amenable to keeping Mikhail around as much as possible. You'll never figure out the recipe for that blend. But you spend 20 gold a day, at least, for as long as you're here, and maybe I'll agree to let you in on the secret. A slow smile spreads across his face. Fine. Well, come in. You're darkening my doorstep. He actually lightens a little at that. Right? I would kill for 20 gold a day. That'd be awesome. It's more than I make it, well, more than I made at where I worked. He actually laughs a little at that. Charming. Don't I even get a hello? I'm pretty sure we gave him a hello. I reserve hospitality for customers I actually like. You know, I wish that customer service people could have that attitude. Like, if someone's an asshole to you, you can just be like, give me 20 gold as a tip, and maybe we'll talk. At the end of his second grande-sized cup, Mikhail composes himself, then pleats his fingers together and rests his arms on the counter. It's passable. Wouldn't kill you to exercise humility for Oh, I keep forgetting which character is talking. Wouldn't kill you to exercise humility for 2 seconds and just admit it's the best coffee you've ever tasted? Now that the shock of the first dozen sips and the feeling of being put on to his backside has worn off, it seems like Mikhail is able to at least pretend to be critical of the taste. Well, I suppose there's something to be said for magic gradually losing its potency the more it's ingested. Nothing I can do about that. So enlighten me. What's that? Mikhail tilts his chin toward the small signboard and chalk sticks I'd found yesterday inside the hatchbox, which are now laying on the countertop waiting to be transformed into an advertising masterpiece. Coffee Curiosities is scrawled across the top in multicolored, chunky block letters, along with a cascading list of some of the more attractive items on the menu. I wrote the wording late last night, but the signs still most definitely missing some much-needed pizzazz. Oh, that. It's step 1 of my grand marketing master plan. If that's your best attempt at marketing, I bet your first idea was a train wreck. How about you let the clear expert here give you some tips, and in return you give me that recipe? Oh gee, how about, no? Ooh, we got a sound effect. Just as he's opening his mouth again, the bell at the front door jingles, cutting Mikhail's needling short. Moments later, Kiana shyly peers inside. Oh hey, morning. Good morning, Justice. And, Mr. Mikhail, good morning to you too. Kiana takes a seat beside Mikhail, and while I start to mix her up a kelp latte, she spots the signboard and pastel chalks lying on the side. Her eyes immediately light up. Oh, you're making a cuisine menu bard. A cuisine menu board, Kiana. And yep, some drawings of teacups or cute animals, and it'll be ready to go outside. Can I help you with the pictures? Sure? I mean, go ahead, knock yourself out. It'll be okay, right? I mean, her drawings must have improved. At least a little bit, right? Oh, I hope they have. I hope that it's like the most gorgeous sign ever, because that would just be amazing. That's a pretty lousy interpretation of a penguin. Penguin? No, that's a tuna in a top hat. Oh, we don't get to see it? Mean. I want to see them. I want to see her terrible drawings. Alright, now, that's definitely a giraffe, right? Actually, it's an oarfish. A pelican? This one is a seahorse. At least they're all sea-themed? By now, the board is so smudged with chalk residue, there's nothing to be done but erase everything and start over. I quickly put a hand on Kiana's sagging shoulder before she can do any more good-intentioned damage. Don't worry, Kiana. If you want to help with marketing, you can come help me with something else, okay? Okay. Why are you doing this? Is the cafe in a lot of trouble? I had been delicately wiping the board clean with a wet cloth, but Kiana's comment stops me in my tracks. Since the moment I'd woken up this morning, I'd been putting on an energetic front, deliberately avoiding negative thoughts to trick even myself into believing I could do this alone. But truthfully, I'm floundering, and I don't want to lie to Kiana. So, despite Mikhail's snooping, beady-eyed presence, I decided to come clean. Well, actually, after openly divulging the situation and the alarming state of the ledgers I'd found the night before, Mikhail and Kiana both sit quiet and pensive for a moment. A minute. Surprisingly, Mikhail is the one to break the silence. Unsurprisingly, he goes straight back to the judgmental jabbing. Well now. Well, I may be getting some juicy tidbits from my blog yet. He leans back, shrugging his shoulders in a smug, exaggerated way. I mean, really, what did you expect? This place is practically falling apart. I begrudgingly cast my eyes over the room, unable to deny it. I know. And there are earthquake-level cracks in the floor. I know. And the owner has a nasty habit of being mean to 50% of their paying customers. Do you take pleasure from being equal parts correct and infuriating? Always. Just when I expect him to follow up with yet more insults, Mikhail's face grows uncharacteristically serious. Look, just because your coffee is actually somewhat decent, I'll level with you. You want to dig yourself out of this mess? There's only one tool that's going to serve you best as a shovel. He slips his phone from his pocket and holds it up to my face as evidence. 3 words. Social media campaign. You need money, and the only way to guarantee that is to drag customers in on a wave. New people, city people, people willing to spend. Outsiders will flock to this place for the authentic hook after you've spruced it up a little. Because let's face it, nobody in this town is willing to come here. Drop Linsdale like they've dropped you. You don't need them. What you need is fresh blood. An aggressive strategy. And luckily for you, I'm feeling unusually sympathetic, so I'll extend an olive branch just this once and help you make that happen. The bulk of his speech wrapped up, Mikhail leans back with his arms behind his head, a small smile playing at the edge of his mouth. Well, it's not like you'd stand a chance using this method without me. Looks like I'll have to agree to be your knight in shining armor, just this once. I think you're wrong. As I glance over at Kiana, she looks genuinely a little hurt by Mikhail's words. Linsdale is filled with good, kind people. Maybe they stopped coming to Cafe Curiosities because Justice's grandmother didn't run the cafe very well. But they really are good. They shouldn't hold that against them. I'm sure they will come back here if we try to, reach? Is that the right word? Out to them? Kiana. So please don't give up on Linsdale yet, Justice. If you could show the locals that this is a worthwhile place to come to, that the food and drinks are tasty and the service is good, this cafe will survive, right? I'm sure the residents of Linsdale will come if you ask them, so I'll help you. I blink at the two in front of me, a little astonished by their arguments. They're both actually making a great deal of sense. But whoever's approach I decide to follow, that probably means we'll be spending a lot of time together from now on. Oh yeah! In that case, I guess I'll work with Kiana. Yes! Oh, yes! They're so cute together. Look at them. They're adorable. Yeah, Linsdale is Baba's town, and considering the good memories I have here, I'd like to think this is my town too. Ow. Sorry, I gotta kind of adjust everything a little bit, because everything is painful. That's not going to change. Getting the people of Linsdale back on our side, rebuilding a relationship with them, should be my top priority. You're right, Kiana. Linsdale is Coffee Curiosity's home. We should focus our efforts here. I'm so glad. I'll see you tomorrow, then. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Mikhail shrug, dissatisfied, but he chooses not to push any further. For the rest of the day, Kiana and Mikhail stay at the cafe, each offering advice from their own perspectives. Not a single other customer comes in to order, and for once I'm glad. Planning takes priority, and before we know it, our discussion has stretched well into the afternoon and beyond, until the sunset calls an end to our little council. As night rolls in, I say goodbye to a sleepy Kiana and Mikhail, close up, and decide to catch an early night myself, knowing I'll need all the rest I can get to prepare for the toil ahead. I'm trying to kind of adjust some things because I'm moving around a bit. I'm trying to get comfy because I am in pain. My head hits the pillow and my eyes immediately grow heavy. I have just enough awareness left in my brain to wonder how well this new partnership of mine is really going to work out, before I slip off into a troubled sleep. Was that there before? This like little penis tower in the distance? Because I don't think that was there before. Or maybe we just didn't see it because our character was there. I think I'm going to save it for now. Save. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna save it for now, because this has been going on for a while. So I think I might... Yes. Oh, that just straight up closes it. I thought that it would at least leave something up. I will put the hold screen back up, I guess. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I hope that you enjoyed it also. Everyone who is still here. I know Lily is still here. So I don't know when I will do this again. Hopefully soon. But this was a lot of fun. I don't usually play visual novels because I usually don't have the patience for them because I'm actually like super impatient, even though I'm also bad at video games, at least playing video games, because streaming them at least, because bandwidth is a thing sometimes. But anyway, hopefully this is a nice thing that people will enjoy because I enjoy it. I don't usually play visual novels. I like watch other people play them. So hopefully this will be nice for things. Those were sentences that worked really well in my head and did not work very well when I said them out loud. But good night. Have good night. Bye.